again, and welcome to Live from the Laundry Room, a special garage edition for me, as we continue to dive into who's in your school. Today, we feature Dr. Angela Marshall from Scottsdale High School. How's it going, Angela?
I'm good. How are y'all?
It is great. Tell us, how's the quarantine / social distancing summer? How has all that been treating you?
Since the homeschooling portion of it is over, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's just been normal at my house, sort of, ish, just without vacation and stuff.
I completely understand. Yeah, once the schooling was over and you didn't have to like really hold everybody to a really concrete routine, it was really nice. It was really nice. Not turning in school.
Yes. Those teachers and those kids were stressing me out.
Absolutely. It definitely motivates both of us to see our kids go back to school, right? Because I don't know that I could do it again or do it for real. Because on my school system, they didn't actually have to turn that stuff back in. I just did it to keep him on routine and kind of keep Nolan like in the, I don't know, just retaining his information. So I was like.
But you can't tell the middle school and the high school kids you don't actually have to turn this in. So.
Well, you know, you did have to turn their stuff in, right?
No, no, but mine did. Well, they did it.
I didn't tell him that he didn't have to turn it in. We pretended like it was real stuff too.
Now, Isabel, I think she figured it out, but the other two, very important.
So, talking about school, what's the plan this next year? What's Scottsdale thinking? What are you going to be doing? What's next semester look like?
We have no idea. No. I mean, right now school's going to start and we're going to start back as normal. We've got some students that are going to be, virtual and doing their work online, and we're going to set up our own Google Classroom just like the teachers are, and we're going to work with the kids like we always do. We are going to be socially distanced in our office. We've measured 6 feet back. We're, going to do our best to sanitize and keep everybody safe as best we can. And just keep on doing what we do because, I mean, the world's not stopping. College isn't stopping. We're going to keep going.
We talked to the really handsome guy from Lexington. Yes. It was yesterday when we talked to him, and they were talking about just some of the things they plan to do online and stuff like what have you guys had discussions as well as to what you can bring online, what really needs to be in person? As a foundation, we've talked about the college fair and just how in the world that will even look like, just exposure. What are some of the strategies that you guys are, and you don't have to give me concrete answers as to what's going to be online, because we know that we're still in those discussions. What are some things that you guys are discussing for your school to try to move online?
So for the foundation, for like what I'm going to do, of course, I come out of a classroom teacher background. So when I see a Google Classroom, I think, okay, I can make lessons out of these forms. I can make lessons out, I can do PowerPoints and I can do slideshows and I can talk through applying to college, how we're going to apply. These are the steps, follow these instructions. So, I mean, we're all just going to do the best we can to get through it. I think that's like the world's viewpoint that you have to have right now. Like, just do what you have to do. But a little bit of that is going to be learning the platform and figuring it all out and going from there. So,
absolutely. I think when we ended in March, like between March and May, it was really like a mindset of just survive. Like, we've got to just put everything on hold, kind of just pause for a moment. And now we have to continue moving and continue looking forward. So now it's almost like how to thrive in this, to not just be on pause, not to, hold anyone back, to be like, how can we thrive in this environment? We talked about opportunities that this has that, whatever we do now, we'll probably still be able to do in the next few years. And it will just be more tools in our toolbox. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, and anything we do is going to end up saved. So, future classes of students, maybe it's our 2021 grads that really get the full version of it. But if a kid needs help and, they can't come in or their parents can't come in, the fact that we have these videos or we have these how-tos already created just kind of gives another tool, like you said, the tool in the toolbox. And, we're just going to have to go through all of this with the best, most positive attitude we can, which, that's kind of what we do. So I'm feeling good about it, but we'll see.
So I'm laughing because Jesse and I had this little unwritten rule that if one of us is muted, the other one doesn't talk. And that's like our cue to each other to say something. And we were going back and forth while you were talking. So it was like, who's talking? What are we doing?
It was mute chicken. It was mute chicken.
And so finally I just stuck with it. And I was like, when he mutes, I'll start talking again. But so with all that in mind, and you kind of touched on it, this is what we're dealt with. We just got to do it. So what's a piece of advice that you would give your students, your friends, the world, whoever you want to hear? If you could tell everyone in the world one message, what do you want them to, what would you want it to be?
I mean, it's kind of hard. I like to talk, so I want to say all kinds of things. But I mean, just really the main thing is like, keep calm and college on. Like, we're just going to keep going. I mean, it's throwing it back about 10 years or so. We could get shirts made. I mean, but that's what we're going to have to do. We're just going to have to get through it, roll with the punches, make everything happen like we always make everything happen. How are we going to complete FAFSA together? I have no idea, but we're going to figure it out. And if anybody can figure it out, I know it's us. And, it's all for the best of the students. Whatever we need to do, that's what we're going to do.
Very solid. Very solid. I haven't heard keep calm and carry on in a while, so that's nice. That's nice.
I'm bringing it back, Jesse. I'm bringing it back.
So for my favorite part of our show, other than the piece of advice, is we want to know what you're doing at home. So I'll start, and I always love to have a little show and tell item. I didn't ask you to bring anything show and tell wise, but I'll start. I have talked so much about home renovation, which I know so little about. And I actually had a friend of mine show me how to do, I wanted to remove the popcorn ceiling off the wall. So I have scraped it down, and then I've made a new knockdown texture ceiling, which is words that no one has to know or know what they mean. But here's my show and tell item that a carpenter friend of mine made me. And it is literally like, it looks like a little serving plank, has a handle, has a plank. And what I would do is I put joint compound on it, just a lot, and then just literally touch the ceiling and let it drip. And then I would take a mud knife and smooth it out to where it was nice and textured without the atrocious popcorn that apparently was very big in the 70s or 80s, whenever that was. So I've completed one room, and it looks fantastic. It was my new kitchen. So I'm going to do it to the dining room hallway. Who knows how much? It depends on how excited I get scraping popcorn. That's really, because that part's not hard at all. It's really just the popcorn part that's frustrating to say the least. So Mary Lauren, what you doing at home?
I'm stuck back in the Stone Age and like to cross things off. So I got my new planner for the next academic year. Now, that may not seem like a big deal to most people. I threw this year's away because I was tired of looking at it because everything was messy. So this takes me all the way until July of next year. And I've already filled it up with our school calendar dates. Like, I'm ready. It's happening. This is some good juju right here.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Now, if I remember correctly, Angela, aren't you a calendar writer downer as well? Aren't you a planner like that?
Yes, traditionally, but I'm not doing it anymore. I gave up. I'm not writing things in that calendar because I can't keep up with it. But this little gem, always have it. I'm putting it in there. Yes. Everything's in there. Miss Sandy can see it.
Calendar.
She sees when the kids have doctor's appointments. She sees everything. Everything's in there. Live from the laundry room. It's in here.
That's so funny. Mine does too. And Miss Frieda will ask me. She'll say, "What is baseball? What does this mean?" I was like, "Oh, that's just where I have to take Nolan to baseball because my personal and work calendar just completely intersect." So
I have to keep them all together.
We're not sponsored by Apple yet, but we will gladly take the sponsorship. #ad. We'll take it.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Apple or Google. I use Google platforms for all of my calendar stuff. I know I'm holding an Apple phone, but if Google sends me a free Android, I mean, I'd probably use it. So back to you, Angela. Then, what you doing at home? What's been keeping you busy during this time?
Okay, your home renovations scare me, but I've done a little something to scare myself. I made Chris buy me a chainsaw.
Okay, wait a minute. I'd like to point out, you said my home renovations scare you, and I'm doing much smaller things that would not, well, I mean, big things, but like nothing that would require a chainsaw. What in the world do you plan to do with a chainsaw?
I decided I like to burn things. This sounds creepy, I know, but really,
I feel like we might need to stop recording.
The
before you incriminate yourself.
I think you mean fire pits and like nice campfires.
Yes, I like to burn boxes and trash, and I live in the country, and that's what country people do. I didn't know because I didn't always live in the country, but that's what you do. You burn things, and I enjoy it. And then we can make s'mores. I mean, it turns into a whole family thing. It's great stuff. It is.
Once again, I think we should go back. Maybe edit this part out and maybe just jump to the straight of the s'mores part. Because you led with, he got me a chainsaw because I like to burn things. And so I did. But I felt like we could.
There's trees. There's old dead trees, and you cut them, and then you burn them, and you throw your Amazon boxes in, and it's just a great time.
Or you could recycle those boxes.
No, I use them as fire starters too, Angela. I can't. Nothing against.
I don't know if we.
I'm the solid waste committee chair, so that's just my selfish plug to nobody trashes Tennessee around here.
Oh, #nobody trashes Tennessee. Now, I do have one follow up to the burning and the chainsaws and stuff, because earlier in Live from the Laundry Room, I talk about how I dug out a fire pit. It went horribly wrong. I have filled that fire pit back in, and I now have an above ground fire pit that I've used the rocks and everything to make this above ground fire pit. I had some trees fall in an earlier storm that we had during COVID. I used a chainsaw. I had to borrow one though. I didn't have like a large one to keep around. I borrowed one. I made all of this wood, got everything ready, and then for some reason I just thought this would be a great idea to do now. But it's 100 degrees now. So I have not lit a fire since making this fire pit, since having all the wood ready. We've not lit a fire yet because I don't want to be outside unless I have to. So are you doing this now? Are you guys making s'mores like dead heat of July?
No, I haven't done it yet. I just got the chainsaw, and it's like battery powered. So I felt like it was more for me.
Oh, you're mobile.
The husband had like the gas powered ones, but they were scary. Okay.
Well, you have to crank them. You got to.
And I can't. I've tried. I can't. That's also why I can't push mow, but that's a whole nother story.
I just don't want to push mow. I mean.
Well, that's probably mostly why I can't push mow.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I can. I just really don't want to. So completely understand. Yeah.
So that's it. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
so burning things wasn't an appropriate answer.
Well, I just
felt so good.
I just felt like we should have jumped straight to for fire. I'm prepping for like s'mores and campfires and stuff like that. Just when
I was trying to get there.
Yeah, you got their attention. I'll tell you that. You got their
COVID may not have been the best thing for Angela's mental health.
Yeah, she stayed home way too long with her kids.
We're having a great time.
It's so fun here.
Oh gosh. Well, Angela, thank you so much for joining us today. God feels lucky to have you. You guys, best of luck starting off as another Henderson County person. You know, we'll probably be keeping in touch as to what we can do together to kind of make this as easy of a school year as possible. But for another edition of Live from the Laundry Room, this is Jesse and Mary Lauren. You guys have a great week. Stay safe and wash those hands. Wear your mask.